Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, and it's Wayne Frederick here with Wednesdays with Wayne. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day today. Um, a little different session today. We've never done anything like this before, but as we always try to do with Wednesdays with Wayne, we always try to keep things very timely with what's going on in the industry. And I've talked to you guys about this over the last couple of months about this shift in consumer behavior. And we decided we wanted to dedicate a session on helping you play in this arena, if you will, or be able to capitalize on this movement. And we're going to talk specifically today about Google reviews, and the importance of a Google business page and why you need to set one up, and then give you some very, very basic baseline things so that you're not intimidated by how do I set this up and how do I go about getting reviews. So we're going to kind of walk you through that process. Okay. So thanks for your time. Again, this is on recording because I'm traveling this week. We recorded this a few days ago, but I want to show you this because I think this is a really, really important phase of our industry right now. I've been saying to you forever that technology is ultimately doing to the real estate industry what we've refused to do for ourselves, and that is to raise the standard, if you will. And so we want to help all of our clients, as always, be where the industry is. So let's get into it. So talking about today's environment, just really briefly, while the real estate transaction has really not changed, right? I mean, the writing of contracts and we have problems at property inspection. We've got to get people pre-approved. We have possession issues and all that. While the transaction hasn't changed, there has been a huge movement in the way consumers are now finding a real estate agent. We're finding real estate agents absent referral, which we're going to talk about in a second. We're finding real estate agents like we find any other product. We've just changed the way that we buy products now. Consumers now go online absent what I would call a stop traffic referral. All right. And that is a big shift now. They didn't have the ability to go online. And now it is a really quick thing that they do. And I'll walk you through kind of the process here in a bit. So I want you to do a test on yourself to see how you're doing in this online world. There's like 45 ways for a realtor to generate business, but we're now seeing that this thing is going down three pretty strong tracks. All right. So I want you to do a test on your online presence, specifically your Google presence. I want you to, not right now, but at some point when you start into this, I want you to Google real estate agents in my case, it would be real estate agents in Springfield, Missouri, real estate agent in Springfield, Missouri, realtors in Springfield, realtor in Springfield. Do these various iterations of these searches. And here's what we're looking for. Find yourself on the list. Now, if you're not at the top of one of those searches, and I'll define the top as top 10, maybe 15, but that's getting pretty much on the edge. Optimally, you would be one of the top 5. And if you're not there, ask yourself this question about when you go to purchase a product that you've never used before, because that's how the consumer is finding these agents online. They've never used these agents before. Would you go down that far on the list to find a product? And then secondly, would you use a product, a new product to you, without reading reviews about the product? And if the answer to both of those is no, I wouldn't go down that far on the list. I was number 24 on the list. And I didn't see any reviews on myself. I wouldn't use me. Then that's where your work is, guys. This is happening. It has happened so subtly to our industry that my feeling is a lot of people don't realize what's going on. They don't realize this play that has been at play for quite a while. And that's why we're having a session on it today. Howard Schultz, former Starbucks CEO, said this: we're witnessing a seismic shift in consumer behavior. That change is being brought about by technology and the access people have to information. Consumers have the ability to do things now. We saw it early on, if you think about it. We used to sit down with a buyer and help them find properties. For the last 10 years, 15 years, buyers have come in and say, I want to see these three, because they have access to the information. Well, now they're using that same process to find a real estate agent, absent a strong referral. So let's talk a little bit. I'm going to talk about the buyer agent side of the equation really, really quickly. How does a consumer go find a buyer's agent? So let's talk about old models and new models. So the old model on how people would find someone to help them purchase a home was, number one, they'd use their agent again. Pretty simple concept, right? They're going to use their agent again. It's repeat business, right? This is why we talk to you so much about the importance, the crucialness, if you will, of having a very vibrant past client system. Because if I couldn't remember my agent, what would I do? Boom. Number two, I would ask my friend for an agent. Do you know a good agent? Right? I just had this play out on the listing side of the equation, literally in the last 3 days for me. All right. So number one is repeat, use my agent again. Number two is ask a friend for a referral. Number three, for finding a buyer, an agent to help me on the buy side, was what I will call a chance meeting. What is that? That was an open house, right? That was happened to stumble into somebody at a party and an event. Oh, we're looking at buying a house. Oh, really? I'm a realtor, da-da-da-da-da, right? Chance meeting. Number four was a sign or an ad call, because people used to get in their car and they would drive areas where they wanted to live, and they would see a sign and they would call that agent off of a sign. Now, the new model is simply this, and this is pretty staggering. Repeat, still right there, still the strongest, still where most of the business is. Referral, second only to repeat, still huge piece of the business. Thirdly is online. It's no longer the chance meeting. I would predict or suggest to you that most of the traffic that you have through an open house in today's world, their process actually started online. They looked at the property online. And online goes down a really solid path, guys. It's Zillow. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you ought to be buying leads off of Zillow, but I will show you the numbers in a second, and I will show you why Zillow is the dominant player. And second is Realtor.com. And this is a huge change in our industry. It's here, it's real, and I don't see us going backwards to the old model. How powerful are Zillow and Realtor.com? 2022 monthly visitors. Zillow had 255.5 million monthly visitors. Realtor.com had 136.7 million monthly visitors in 2022. And then here's major brands. If you total all the major brands, they had 33.1 million visitors. That's about 9% of the traffic of Zillow and Realtor.com. The buyer side has moved over here. Now, we're not going to spend any more time on this today. If you guys would like us to really dig deeply into converting online leads, send me an email, send Maddie an email and say, we'd really like to see a session on this. We've covered it kind of in broad brush on lead conversion strategies. We can dig deeply into this if y'all want us to, but I don't want to drag you down a road of purchase business, because that's what this is. All right. Now let's talk about the selection process on the listing side. This is really the crux of what I want to talk to you about today. The old model versus the new model. The old model, again, was repeat. I used my agent before. I've always used my agent. I'm going to call my agent. Now, remember the stat, though. Here's an interesting thing. Remember the stat, and this is why this Google play is so big. 87% of realtors do not make it 5 years. The average consumer in the United States has now lived in their property 13 and a half years. That means there are 2 whole iterations of real estate agents that have come and gone while they've lived in their house. Statistically, It is hard for the average consumer to call their real estate agent back. So what do? They ask their friends for a referral, just like they do on the buy side. Do you know of a great agent? I had this is the situation I had happen. I have a really good friend who is selling her house. She didn't even think of calling anybody but the agent she had used before. And they were telling me about it. And I went, yeah, they're a great agent. They'll do you a great job. I was playing a practice round for a golf tournament on Monday. And the guy I played with, when we got done, he goes, "Hey, are you still like in the day-to-day real estate business?" And I said, "Well, I'm not selling property, but what do you need? What do you need help with?" And he said, "We need to sell my grandmother's house and we don't know who to call." And I gave him a stop traffic referral. I said, "Here's the person you call. Trust me. Here's their number. I'm going to text it to you right now. You call this person." And he said, "Thank you very much." Now, I guess time will tell whether that stop traffic referral was stop traffic or not. All right. The third way that people might find a listing agent, but it was never really a big play, would be the chance meeting again, right? I mean, you didn't see people going to open houses looking for a listing agent, but it was out there. But the fourth way is you call the name realtor. You called a name realtor and you knew who the names were, the players were with print advertising. We used to spend so much money in print advertising as a real estate community. And what the consumer would do if they didn't, you want to use their agent again or couldn't remember them or they were out of the business or they didn't have a referral, they would pick up a Homes magazine, a Harmon Homes in some locations. They would pick up the newspaper and they would look through the ads and they would gravitate toward the agents that had a lot of listings. That's how you knew who the names were. A little less than that, but still a very viable option, was a GeoFarm, and that still works. That's the name realtor for my location, absent a relationship with a realtor. But what's the new model? Repeat still strong, referral still strong. Chance meeting is still kind of out there. But the fourth one is Google. And I would tell you that number 4 is actually much larger than number 3. We now Google so much for everything that we do. I mean, I don't know how many times a day you just go, well, let me just Google it, right? Let me figure it out. That is what people do. We have become much more transactional as consumers than relational. And it has now worked its way into the real estate business. This is why we stay on everyone so much and try to design new and better ways to stay in flow with your people, to try to keep that relationship fortified, because absent relationship, I'll go transactional for everything. We all do this if you sit around and think about it. And that's why we're talking about the Google play today. So why is the Google play and why are reviews so important? Google business page allows you to look like a player even if you aren't number 1. So when you do your search for yourself, here's what you're going to find. You're going to see agents on the top of the search that you've never heard of. But they're at the top of the search because they're playing this game. Okay. They have all of the look of someone that I would call. Many of the long-term players, the tenured agents, a lot of you that are on here today, really have no Google presence, allowing new agents to get a foothold in the space. The consumer now values reviews over sales numbers. If you remember, if you've been around doing this for a while, we used to always talk about, the agents would say, I sold however many $1 million worth of property last year. Call me. I know what I'm doing. Nobody advertises that anymore. And consumers have no way of figuring out how much somebody sells. And the reviews, and this is huge, the reviews are now the validation filter on second-tier referrals. So with the referral that I gave out the other day, I would be surprised if they don't Google the agent that I told them. I had this happen with a friend from Kansas City. or actually her brother was from Kansas City. I've told you the story before. And I said, here's who you need to call. And the brother called the referral source and came down and did a deal with them. Conversely, I'll tell you a story about my youngest daughter, Anna. Anna and her fiance were buying a house, and she said, I need an agent, Dad, where they live. They don't live here in Springfield. And I said, okay, let me hook you up with someone. And she said, just give me some names. I'm going to Google them. Now, and Anna's, young, early 20s. And I thought, wow, this is a real shift in consumer behavior here, right? This is what younger people do. They Google everything. So it just stands to reason that this is going to become something that we're going to be dealing with in the business. And it's something that we really need to get on here, right? So the reviews are the validation filter if it's not a stop traffic referral. Things to understand about the Google play, if you will. Number one, get Google screened. Okay. That's one of the things you need to do. All you have to do is Google, literally, how do I become Google screened? And there's a whole tutorial on how you do it. Now you have to have the business page set up first, and that's what we're going to show you how to do today. Get reviews. 2 per week appears to be optimal. I've got a client that they're doing very, very well with this. They're getting a lot of the listing phone calls, and they're making sure that they get 2 new reviews a week. Do not dump a bunch of referrals in all at once, because Google will flag you. The validation system that Google has set up here is really, really strong. And they have, through their technology, a way to track a lot of things. So if you dump a lot of reviews in, they will say, these reviews aren't any good. There's no way they had that many deals at once. So ask friends, family, past clients, ask anybody to write you a review. They have to come from different IP addresses, or again, Google will kick them out, which means you can't be making up people's names and doing them from your computer. And one of the big ones is when you have a Google business page, there will be an icon on there that it just says call, like call the agent from the page. You have to answer the phone when it rings. If you don't answer a call from the Google page, they know how to track this, and you will start to drop in the Google rankings if you don't answer the phone. Okay, so it does have a very strong set of rules to it. So let's talk about the process of setting up a Google business page. The first thing you have to do to be able to have a Google business page is you have to have a Gmail account. Okay, so the vast majority of people already are operating in Gmail. But if you don't have a Gmail account, that's the first thing you have to do. It's simply support.google.com/mail, and that will allow you to set up a Google business account. Now, I'm going to let Maddie share her screen, and we're going to walk you through this process, making the assumption you have a Gmail account. That's what you're going to need to have. Okay. So when you have a Gmail account, your next step is to go to google.com/business. Okay. When you do that, a page like this is going to show up. All right. And all you're going to do is click Manage Now. This is the first steps towards setting up a Google business account. Okay. So what's happened on this account, Maddie and I were testing this out earlier. So Maddie did a test. Yep. So Maddie is now going to take you through this process from beginning to end. So she's Googled set up a Gmail account, okay, which takes her to this. So create a Gmail account. And look, we know, guys, a lot of you already have this. You're simply going to create an account. Going to take you to this page. So she's going to enter her information. And then she's going to pick it. Just, you can create your own Gmail address, or she can pick one. Create a password, just like you would do for anything else. And I know this is pretty elementary for probably 99% of the people on here, but we want to walk you through it anyway. So now she's going to go to google.com/business. And that will take her to this page right here. This is where you start setting up your business page, right? So you set up a Gmail. If you already have a Gmail, you can skip that step. And you go to manage. And then you start putting in your business name. You choose a business. You're going to be a service business. You're going to go category, type in real estate. And the first thing you'll start to notice is, obviously, this is a strong real estate play because there's all kinds of options for you here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and just make it real estate agent. Then you're going to put in a service area. Then you're going to enter your phone number, and you guys do need to enter your phone number. You're going to put your website in there, although it's optional. So go ahead and put in a phone number, Matt. And immediately Google knows that's not a real phone number. That is a real phone number. Okay. So then get news and tips about how to improve your business profile. We would suggest that you check that. That will, and yes, that's going to make you start getting emails from Google, but I think it's okay in this case. And then you're going to put in your mailing address, and I think we can stop with that part of it, Maddie, and I'll flip over to my screen. But what we want you to understand is it's a tutorial. Follow the tutorial. All right. When you get down to the end of it, what it's going to ask you for is allow you to load in some keywords, some key search words. So you can play around with that. I believe the limit is 10. Okay. But you can always change them. All right. And then toward the end, it will also ask you if you would like to let me see where I'm going here. We go. It will also ask you if you would like to do some marketing. Okay. Now, when you get this set up, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have, so when you go to Google, all right, or you go to your Gmail, there's 9 little boxes over here. And when you click on those, you're going to see a business profile manager. When you click on business profile manager, it is going to pull this up. This is all things that I populated. Okay, just to let you know, those of you that know me, I'm not a tech guy at all in any way, shape, or form. This took me about 20 minutes to do this. Okay, I uploaded some pictures from files and things like that to try to create a vibrant deal. I just did this, guys, last week. I'll be honest with you. I just did it last week. My business is more by referral and relationships than it is with a Google play, but I wanted to set something up to show you. And so you're just going to populate this. You can edit your profile anytime you want to. You can edit services and bookings, and you can do all kinds of things in it. This is your dashboard. Google automatically goes out after they do some level of verification with your physical address, with your phone number you put in. It goes out and it matches up. We did not add any of these types of things. This is what Google found, right? See on LinkedIn, they found my Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Okay. The main thing I want to show you is this. And if you'll do the little homework I said, where you go try to Google yourself and things like that, reviews are huge, and they've made it so simple for you to get reviews. You go to your dashboard, right? Again, it's this business profile manager, and see this button right here, and it just says get reviews. It will pop this screen up. All you're going to do to get a review is you're going to put someone's email address in here. You're going to click email. It's going to pull it up. Now, we've tested this, and I know what happens. Google knows that this is not, there's more people watching. So what it does is it blocks it. It won't do it on your computer. It'll be fine. But you're going to click email, and it will populate the review link. And it will say, in my case, it would say, Wayne Frederick with Cedar Field Consulting would like for you to send a review. And you just start emailing those out. Guys, it's that simple. Okay. This is a huge concept. All right. So if you're so inclined, you can, once you have this set up, you can play around. You can add photos. You can book things. There's a myriad of things that you can do. Ask for reviews. There it is again, right? You can confirm your hours. You can change things around. If you do not want to do this all yourself, there are companies out there. Probably the one of the major players here, or at least the name that you see show up a lot, is HomeSnap. HomeSnap, for a fee, a rather marginal fee, it's around $50 a month, they will help do this for you. Okay. So if you know that you're not one that will sit there and play around with this and try to keep yourself up on the search engines via reviews and ads and things like that, I would suggest you hire someone to do it. HomeSnap would be one. There are many others, not a HomeSnap commercial. I was told about another one this morning that I'm trying to check out. So what we're going to do on our next call is we're going to go down that pathway a little bit of a couple of these providers that you might want to look at. Guys, the reason we wanted to do a class session on this is quite simple. Looking around the corner for our industry, I will tell you this is a very, very big deal. The teams that I have that are in this space, they are getting a tremendous number of listing leads. They are. And I will tell you this, if you haven't had someone come up to you that wants to list their home with you, and you say, how did you find out about me? And they said, Google. If that hasn't happened to you yet, you need to be working in this space. This is where the consumer is starting to reside. And it's crucial that you get in this arena. So I don't want to, this does not take away from past client systems. This does not take away from fortifying the relationships with people, but it is the new frontier for real estate, and it's happening subtly. And I want to make sure that everyone is involved in this space. We go back really quick. The other thing that we have going on is mindset. So our next session on Wednesday, July the 12th, is going to be the power of clarity. It's actually my favorite session. It's my favorite thing to talk about is mindset and how we have to be crystal clear on what we're trying to do and why, and making sure that we're incredibly consistent. So we're going to cover that Wednesday, July the 12th, 12 o'clock, just like always. And in the meantime, please play around with this Google thing. Try to get some things set up. We'll do some more research between now and the 12th. I'll have maybe a couple of options for you for people that could help you with it. And we look forward to seeing you on July the 12th. As always, guys, thank you so much for your time. Between now and the 12th, if you have any questions about this, please please reach out. There's my email, my phone number. There's Maddie's email and her phone number. We're here to try to help you. Thank you so much for your time today. Have a great week, and we'll see you on July the 12th. Have a great day. Bye-bye.